Well, we are pleased to say today that the Solar Cities IBC floating gas storage with bungee cord is working perfectly well. It's a little too light to see the beautiful blue flames, so I put some Spanish moss in there to burn so you can see it. We just cooked a whole bunch of cookies on biogas. These are the Paleo chocolate chip cookies made from almond flour sweetened with stevia and no sweeteners other than that, so it's chocolate, unsweetened chocolate chips. But the gas is going nice and strong, and here it's coming from our refurbished Solar Cities IBC tank biodigester gas holder. This one here is being pressurized by bungee cords, and as it goes down we'll just keep pulling this bungee cord down to apply a little more pressure. That's all we have to do. That way we don't have to use any electric pumps. You can see if you're trying to build your own that it's made of two IBCs, one out of which all of the vertical supports, these ones here, all these vertical supports have been removed on the long side. And then I got inside and bowed out the cage so that it would bulge, so it would fit another IBC which has been rotated by 90 degrees. You can see the lid down there of what was the top. This was the top of the other IBC. That's why the lid shows up down there. See that there? So it was rotated. Take it from there. The lid is there, like that, and was cut. Side of it was cut, so it's just like a cup. And then you have the gas in and the gas out with a bulkhead fitting on top. The valve here is closed. The bungee cords, and they're part a half a cage for holding it in place and letting you sort of stabilize that. And that's it for that. And that should give us an hour and a half or so of cooking when that's full. It would be 2 hours if we hadn't had to cut it, but we had to cut it so that when this is depleted of gas, it's submerged under the water line. That's what you want to do. You want to make it go under the water line. The water line is right there at the top. So you want it to be able to sink all the way down in the water when it's submerged and push out all the gas. And then it rises up again. And so we have the gas coming from the pump. There is the Pusheen biogas pump, which is then attached to the garden hose right there, which then goes all the way to the dragons way down at the fence line. You can see the big biodigesters there. But I can also fill it with this biodigester, Solar Cities IBC tank biodigester, although right now I'm using that one to fill an inner tube, which gives me about 15 minutes of cooking. But now that the inner tube's full, I can connect those hoses to that floating IBC. The inner tube, you'd put a board on top to give the pressure to push the gas out, or you'd use a pump. This is using bungee cords. We tried various things, putting weights and stuff on, but then Janice Kelsey of Solar Cities experimented with the one that we built at her house in Pennsylvania at the headquarters of Solar Cities and found that bungee cords really did do the trick best. So we've moved to bungee cords, and they're great. Great innovation from Janice Kelsey of Solar Cities. So yeah, it's providing reliable flame. Now, another innovation for today, although we've got it for a long time, besides my air cooling system there, and keeping all my garbage here, 2 years worth of well-separated clean garbage, is having a floating IBC tank, but putting a 2-inch pipe underneath the dome, like the RT India style floating tank digester. So this one actually can take food and produce gas and store the gas, and then have the spill out come out over there. Every time that you add a bucket of food waste down this throat down here that goes underneath the dome, then you'll get a spill out of fertilizer over there. And so it's the same thing, but it's integrated. The only reason we don't usually do this is because in the winter it gets too cold to perform. And now we're coming towards spring, so this should start working as this water begins to warm up a little bit. So it's either way that you want to do it. So you can have a separate digester and a separate gas holder. The gas holder will work all winter long, and the thing is, if you're in a really cold climate where it freezes, then you're going to have to put in some propylene glycol or ethylene glycol, or you'll have to put in some antifreeze or put salt or whatever you're going to do to keep it from icing up, or the gas holder, of course, will get stuck. And that's why when we were working in New York and Germany, we originally separated the digester, which we could insulate and heat, and then the gas holder, which could be outside, but which you put some antifreeze fluid in there, and then that would kill the microbes. But here in Florida, I can do this. I can inoculate this, which I will continue to do, and then as it warms up, it should also digest, produce gas, and store the gas. So you have all these different possibilities for doing your biogas. But I'm really proud today to say that we are not going to be using the electric, even though we're all solar here, we're off the grid. I don't have to use it. And I think that even the digesters way over there will produce enough pressure to slowly fill this up now that I've removed the bars that were inhibiting it and the burrs, and I zip tied this so it pulled out. It was getting stuck is what was happening. But now it floats pretty darn easily, which means that it'll go up and down with just the slightest amount of gas. So I probably will just take that electric gas pump out, even though it's only 10 watts, and just see if the gas does the rising itself. But for cooking, I certainly know that I don't need it. And if you had this floating IBC tank gas holder next to the biodigester, of course you would not need a pump. That would be the way that the gas would inflate it, the same way it's inflating the inner tube over there. It would lift. We know that from our experiences in Pennsylvania, New York, Germany, Portugal, Sweden, etc. Why do I have the flame on? Because I was showing that it works with the bungee cords. But you're right, it's time to not waste fuel. And so we can turn that on. Although let's turn on the cookie. Let me light, this is my last thing on this video. Let's open up the stove where you're going to be making more stuff. Get my lighter here somewhere. There's my lighter. Lighter. And there's the cookies. So I'll turn on the gas and get in here and light it. Let's see if will it light? Yeah, perfect. Oh, look at there. Biogas cookies with no electricity in us. Hooray. Yep. Total off-grid cookie making.